Hey guys.
Hey guys.
So Resistance Chicks.
We want to join us with the new segment,
Pursuit of Happiness,
where we discuss food rights, liberty, things like wanting to build your own house without the government coming in and restricting you and every. These are ridiculous things.
The reason we want to bring these to you is because a lot of you don't realize that this is happening.
Right.
It's really important that we bring you guys these segments. So we're really excited.
This one's great. We want to start off with this one. Michigan MDARD retard seeks destruction order for 18 oatmeal cookies and 17 apple muffins.
Not the oatmeal cookies and the apple muffins.
They're gonna
destroy them. They're gonna kill us
if you sell them. Because as soon as you sell them, then you kill people. The Michigan Department of Agriculture and Rural Development, the retard, has filed a complaint with the Livingston County Circuit Court asking that the court order the destruction of, among other foods, 18 homemade oatmeal cookies and 17 homemade apple muffins. Wow. The retard seized the cookies, muffins, and other food during a September 1st, 2016 raid of Dairy Delight Cow Boarding LLC, a herd share dairy from a farm owned and operated by Kris Unger in Cohoctah Township. Tell us what a herd share is.
Thank you. A herd share is when you join together with several other community members and you purchase a part of a cow. And that makes it legal for you to get milk from that cow. Because right now, many of you may not know this, but to drink milk straight from the cow without it being pasteurized and homogenized and disgustingized and killed, pacified, but without having it go through all that nasty, disgusting stuff, just to drink God's milk and honey is illegal.
Well, you not everywhere. If you go to the Farm and Consumer Legal Defense Fund or realmail.com, you can see
many states
in which the retail sale is legal, the farm sale is legal, the herd share status. Ohio has a herd share status. It's only one of several. And then it's illegal in 5 states.
Right.
So, you know what? Nobody's died of it yet, but if you go to one of the legal states...
you literally own part of the cow. So nobody should be able to come in, ever, at any point, and tell you that you can't do something with this milk and drink it, and that the owners can't drink the milk.
So, I love Farm and Consumer Legal Defense Fund. We're a part of it. We just love everything that they're doing there. I suggest you join it. Members have been subject to food seizures since the organization's inception. But just about all of the seizures have been of either meat or dairy products. The enforcement action at Dairy Delight marks the first seizure of baked goods.
Because
there's bake sales, at your PTA. The Unger case is great testimony for why a legal distinction needs to be established between the public and private distribution of food and why government agencies should leave the private distribution of food alone.
And we tend to believe that almost all distribution of food should be a private distribution of
exactly.
food.
And there are cottage food laws, so in some states it's completely legal to sell whatever. The events leading to the raid trace back to August 23rd, 2016, when the Michigan Retarded Service contacted the Livingston County Department of Health, informing it that 2 children had been infected with E. coli.
But it wasn't proved that it was, they just went straight to the fact that it was the milk. It could have been anything.
When you're infected with something like E. coli, it has to be reported. They have to trace it back, and I kind of get that. It had determined that raw milk was the potential source of the children's E. coli. On August 26th, the retard inspector, along with an inspector from the LCDPH, arrived at the farm to investigate the potential source of the E. coli. By this time, the father of one of the 6 children had spoken to Unger about the illness. The other sick child had been with his son shortly before they both became ill. The father told Unger that he believed the illnesses had come from the consumption of tacos and that he was pretty sure that the son's friend had not consumed raw milk.
Right.
When the inspector showed up, Unger answered several of their questions about her herd share operation and told them that she had been in contact with the herd share owners and none of them were sick. When the officials insisted on obtaining the contact info for all the herd share owners, Unger told them they weren't welcome and refused to let them inspect the farm. On September 1st, inspectors from the retard and the accompanied by 2 deputies from the Livingston County Sheriff's Department, returned to the farm with an administrative inspection warrant. While conducting the inspection of the dairy, the officials seized the baked goods,
other foods including honey, eggs, kombucha, and sauerkraut of her own personal.
The inspectors see the products because they were not properly labeled and because they were not from regulated sources and were being offered for retail sale. The MDARD's position is that if a food is supposed to be from a regulated source and is not, it's adulterated, so they just take it and they toss it. If anyone should not have been regulated for this sale of seized foods, it was Unger. The foods were only for sale to herd share members. Unger did not make any money off the sale of the seized foods. Most of the foods were produced by the herd share members. Unger was only allowing the sale of the products as accommodation to them. The shareholder who made the baked goods only sold them to the other shareholders and no one else. I'm not saying that you shouldn't be able to sell them to everybody else.
You totally should.
The 24 eggs that were seized had already been paid for by the shareholders who ordered them, but Unger was told, now get this, she was told she needed a warehouse permit to continue with that arrangement. We have eggs. I sell them. I'm allowed to. It's illegal in Ohio. You know what? If I got other friends who have chickens. If I hold 24 eggs of theirs in my house, and for somebody else,
you can't do that. You need a warehouse permit.
A warehouse permit.
My gosh.
The partially consumed bottle of kombucha was taken was Unger's and for her own consumption. When she informed
kombucha, that's actually what I'm drinking right now.
Inspector see the product of that, she was told the product was illegal because it wasn't labeled.
Because you can't have an unlabeled product in your own house.
Anybody ever make tea?
It's illegal.
You can't do it in under. It's so weird.
I'm a
Unger
rebel.
lives a mile down a dirt road, and the only people who stop by her farm, with rare exceptions, are the shareholders. She doesn't deliver milk or product to anyone else. The milk produced by Dairy Light is highly favored. None of the raw milk samples that Unger sent to a lab due to the illness tested positive for E. coli, and she doesn't know if anything. They won't tell her whether the samples they took are testing. In addition for asking for the seized foods to be destroyed, the retard is seeking a court order permanently enjoining Unger from selling food without a license, selling food that is not from an approved source, and selling food that is either adulterated or misbranded.
What's unfortunate about this case is where she lives. I think you said she lives in
Michigan.
And they're really harsh on food laws.
Right. They're harsh on all good, hard-working farmers. Now, this is what, if you watched our previous segment on the women marching on Washington for their birth control and things like that,
this is something really worth fighting for. Your right to produce and consume and sell food from your own property is as basic as American rights of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness get. And the fact that we don't have that in America, and you're trying to go out and fight for free birth control and free mammograms, is ridiculous.
This is why our segment of the life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness is so important, because
it's vital.
If we don't bring light to these things, these are the freedoms that have slipped through our hands. They're
right.
pretty much
because nobody's
gone.
talking about it. Because unfortunately, bipartisanly, money is the greatest motivator in Washington. So on the left side, you have the crooks that want to impose all kinds of laws because of money. And on the right side, you have the dairy people and Monsanto people that want to impose restrictions on people because they want to have a monopoly. So this capitalism isn't what real capitalism is. And so both sides are motivated by money.
Greed. You know,
everybody's bought off in Washington.
We went
except for
down
Thomas
to
Massey.
try to get chickens legalized in our township. These are legal everywhere. I was sickened by the then township administrator up there who laughed when he said, "We're going to slip through a restriction on anyone operating a business from their home. So if somebody wanted to work on cars in their driveway, we're going to make that illegal."
And he said he was going to slip it through.
And he was laughing about it. Because those are those people.
Right. Because you shouldn't be allowed to work on someone else's car for money in your own driveway. And I don't care if you live in a subdivision.
You
ought to be able to do it.
It boggles my mind because everybody wants to talk about no pollution. Mm-hmm. And they want to give people electric cars. But why can't we just work out of our own homes?
Right. And then you wouldn't have to drive your car everywhere.
Duh.
And why can't you produce food on your own property, and then you would lessen your carbon footprint?
So we all get the things in the mail or watch things on TV where you can buy a cow for somebody in Africa, and you can help them. They milk that cow. They don't pasteurize it.
It feels so great,
They
right?
sell it. You sell them some goats. You sell them some chickens, and then you help them start their own businesses, making food and selling it to their neighbors.
But Leah, that's for lesser people in Africa to do. Like, we shouldn't have cows
if
here.
If they get sick, they're already in a third world country.
Right.
But we're in a first world country, so it doesn't matter that we get sick going to the pasteurized grocery store where everything is from a cardboard box, Monsanto GMO.
Everybody is so worried about raw milk causing someone to get sick, but I am telling you right now, all of the inner aisles, and including the outer aisles, because the outer aisles are covered and sprayed and the hormones in the meat, but especially the inner aisles, all those inner aisles have caused, listen to me, they have caused the cancer and disease epidemic that we have in our country.
The obesity.
They are killing us.
Obesity epidemic is not because people are really exercising.
No.
It's because of the food, and the corn syrup is in everything.
Tell them about the corn syrup. Did you cover that in a segment? Cover it again. Why do we have corn syrup? Why did we make the switch? Why is everything corn?
Well, I'd really like to go over this. I'll go really quick. We do a whole segment. I want to do a whole segment on this so I can show you the government has always been about propaganda. You're afraid of Russia. The government had propaganda during World War II that said, don't eat meat, don't eat wheat. We want to save those for our soldiers and our allies. So instead, they had propaganda that told children and everyone, eat corn, eat hominy, eat corn for every meal, eat corn for every meal. So not only did they encourage people to eat the corn, but they encouraged the farmers to plant from fence row to fence row, corn,
and figure out how they can put it in every single product.
The Matthew McConaughey movie, Interstellar, in the beginning, it's all just a plate of corn, and I just want to puke corn. I just want to puke. It's like, corn is not bad in general.
No.
But it has, in certain things, but not for every meal. Not to be adulterated into like 200 or 300 different things. So we're going to end the segment on that. So we want to get behind Unger and make her
everybody's right to farm, everybody's right to the pursuit of happiness.
Right.
This is Leah and Michelle
signing off.
If it's not a conspiracy,
it's not a conspiracy.
If it's the truth.
Conspiracy theory.
Should we say that again?
It's not a conspiracy
if it's the truth.
If it's the truth. Theory. If it's the
truth. I was cold all alone. No place for home every day. So afraid, but you called my name.